So we've made it to third place. We've got a almost 50% win rate, top 4, 88. So I thought I would just show how I'm getting there, like what team comp I've been using mostly. But I think it'll be useful showing how I get to that end game, even though I might be playing the same general composition as other players that maybe don't do so well. So you'll be able to see generally some of the decisions I make, and I'll try to explain some of the common mistakes I think people are probably making. So I'll explain the early game a bit. From my point of view, there's 3 options. The first one is leveling aggressively. So you pretty much spend all your gold in the first 3 rounds to get to level 5. I usually don't do this one. The logic there is level 5 illuvials on the board, so you're more likely to win streak early. But not only win streak, you'll be more healthier. You won't lose as much HP, but you ruin your econ, so you're not going to be getting the extra interest for every 10 gold increments. But you kind of make that up with more likely to win, which you get 1 gold if you win the round. You will also give yourself more chance of getting an early tier 5 or 4, which can be good, but isn't, it helps, it's strong early, but that also ruins your econ a little bit because they're obviously expensive. The second option is to not level at all. That's what I'm going to be doing here. The logic here is you have more econ, obviously, so we're going to hit that 20 and 30 increment of interest much sooner. That should snowball. The other reason is with the build we're making, the Scion Empath build, the flishes are going to be fairly important, and they can be quite good early game, and they can even fit into the late game team as well. So if we stay low level, we've got a higher chance of these tier 0s. Now, I would say if you hit a greater flish, even just 1, definitely if you hit 2, then you can kind of switch to leveling up a little bit and being more aggressive with the levels. So there's kind of an in-between as well. The other in-between is just level up once to level 4 and not level 5. So it's kind of halfway in between. That's probably usually where I go. Play the ultra-conservative way here in terms of the econ. So we won't level at all unless we hit the flish. Okay, Augments. I'm going to go with Grit and Resolve. Now we'll go with this one. It's arguable which is better. I'll explain the augments as we go. Stick with these Volantes. This isn't ideal. Ideally we would want flishes, obviously. Now, you might be thinking I've not hit 20 and I've got this Archer here that could get me there. I'm just waiting to see if I win. If I win, I can keep this. If I lose, I might consider selling this to get to that 20 increment. The awkward situation here is these Archies do fit into the team comp. But I'm gonna sell it despite me really wanting to finish a stage 2 of that Illuvial. Yeah, it's arguable, but I lean towards the econ. We can pick that up later, and also we just may not use it. But right now we have 0 Illuvials other than tier 0s, and that gets us to the 20. We're definitely not going to level here because we've got someone that's AFK. We're 4 away from level 4. At this stage, you wouldn't be wrong to level up. You're not going to ruin your econ for this round. This is probably where I would level up, but the reason for not leveling up is 1, I already know I've got a free win, and 2, I still haven't hit a flish yet, so this will allow me to stay at the 60% tier 0 for the next round. Round 5, definitely want the Tatterpees. So the stage 1s we want is the Tatterpees, and the Archos if we can get it, and we're not going to pick up anything else. Now there is a strategy where I noticed some people were doing this in the recent tournament that I wasn't able to do. They were actually rolling down somewhere here, either level 3 or 4, to get the greater flish. And I can't recall if it actually worked out for them, but I think it may have. A little bit higher risk. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I've got a 50% win rate, first place rate, and 80 or nearly 90% top 4 doing this, so I'm not going to change anything. The reason I bring that up is that I would say that's probably one mistake newer players make, is they re-roll way too early. They don't value the econ as much, and I've been guilty of this. Re-rolling is very tempting to do, and it feels good. It's obviously a little bit like gambling, but it is a major reason why, like the difference between top players and the non-top players. Picked up the Thorns. I find this is really good on Goliant when we get there. Just with the Granite, he's at least got that couple of seconds of doing Thorn damage while not taking damage, and if we can get another tanky item on him, it's just such good value. Because with Granite he does get Grit and Resolve already. If I don't get another tanky item, I may put this one on him, but I do find just flat tank stats can be better with the Thorns, because late game they can just chew through your front line pretty quickly, and this only heals every 4 seconds. And I'll talk about the augments a little bit later as we go. So we've been pretty comfortable so far. Usually playing this conservative with the econ, probably a little bit lower, like probably around where style is. That's probably more of what you should expect playing this way. I've been a little bit lucky, and you can even get luckier. Like, we haven't hit any flishes, so you could definitely get even luckier than I have, but don't stress if you're quite low HP compared to what I am by this stage. Do want to take note of these PvE rounds. I believe you get a flat bonus from the PvE round, and then you get your econ. So you do, if you can, you do kind of want a good amount of gold come these PvE rounds, so just take note of this symbol if it's coming up. If you're going to make a decision to level or reroll the round before, just consider waiting. You'll get some extra gold on the PvE round. But generally, the round before that, when I was 2 levels, kind of 8 gold away from level 5, I would always do it. But again, I haven't finished the flish here, and I'm pretty healthy, and it was a PvE round, so I didn't do that. And I'm just going to stay at level 4 on this round, and because I'm healthy and just like more chance of finishing these flishes off if I can. Right, yeah, these aren't the best. The Meteoric Onslaught, even though it got nerfed, it's still the top pick there. The Illuvials that you want to pick up early, I think I've already mentioned the Tatapi. 100% want to pick this up. You don't want to re-roll. You don't want to roll down for any of these. You can hit these at level 8 if you haven't finished them yet. And the Archos. That would be the only 2. The Atlas I like early. Maybe I sometimes put him in just as a tank before I get my other tanks, which we'll see later. But other than that, you can pretty much ignore everything. If you have the spare econ, you know, maybe this Winx instead of, like, if I had the spare econ, I'd probably pick this up. Small chance I'll play this as well. And you might just pick up other things to help you through the mid and late game. Like early and mid game. So just the Tatapi and the Archos. And maybe the Winx. Now we're well over 70. So if you didn't know, 70 is the max interest. So it'll give you 7 each round. We can just use all that to level up. And we don't need to go past 70 at this point. If I was around 60 or 50% HP, I probably would just go to 6 here and start playing slightly more aggressively. But we're not in that situation just yet. And annoyingly, we just are very close to finishing these flishes, which there's a good chance we won't finish them. Again, not crucial, just ideal if we do finish them. And we got the flish, nice. And I do like the earth flish. We can end up hitting 4 earth a little bit later. I'm going to get rid of the Volante and chuck, there you go, 3 of these, and we'll put this on the earth flish. We don't want to stack our Scions here because we can see he's got 2 flishes. And you can see how healthy he is, so he would have hit these early. He's also got the empaths, which is... Oop, I should level here. Camera. Damn. Whatever, we got an extra flish in. Yeah, so I should have leveled there. But this is ideal. Here's the early game. He's already got stage 2 flishes, stage 2 empaths. This is huge. And what is he? He's level 6 as well, so he's not lacking any economy by the looks of it. Although we can't see how much gold he has left. Speaking of unlucky, all these are pretty bad. Reduced shields, maybe not too bad, but we'll get this to put on the squiz. Usually after this round 12, this PvE round, is when I'll switch to not keeping 70 econ. And we'll see how this plays out next round, but usually that's the trigger. Round 12, level up a bit more, so I'll definitely go to 7. I'll get that for free. And I might even go all the way to 8, and then roll down and try hit a half completed team comp if I can. And usually I can relax a little bit there, and that should comfortably get me through the next couple of rounds. We'll spend those there so we get the level 7 percentage chances, and then you can see we got our econ. So I'm just going to pick up these empaths. You could wait one more round, just depending on who you're versing and how strong you already are, but I'm getting somewhat low enough and somewhat weak enough that I'm definitely going to level there. And you just pray for a little bit of luck here. You really don't want to ruin your econ too much here. Usually you hit... I'm really just after the Furiox or the Squiz. Just go one more. I'm getting these Alphies, which I don't really want. And let's just chuck some of these in. And no time for positioning. We end up hitting... Yeah, we got some of the Scions. Yeah, this isn't ideal because we did ruin our econ a little bit. I'm actually considering selling... Quinks would be good to keep, but I've just want a little bit of econ, and I know I'm probably not going to use him anyway. We can get rid of the Atlas at this point. Once I complete the team comp a little bit, I'll start explaining what augments we're after. It's going to be a little bit easier once the Illuvials are on the board. I'll be wondering why I didn't play the Fern. You definitely could play the Fern, I just never do. Got the squiz and we got the ebb. Let's get the ebb in. Actually, we'll go 6 Scion here. I'm going to put this on the squiz. Alright, so we've got most of our team comp here. So the augments. So we want, I guess, order of priority is we really want good Omega Power augments on the squiz, which we haven't picked any up yet. And it can be okay to have one kind of tanky augment on the squiz as well, because late game you're likely to fight Scion as well. And the squiz often gets targeted by their squiz. So, I mean, I would still prioritize 2 Omega Power augments, because if he one-shots people with his Omega, he's going to Omega again. And there's just such a huge differential with him getting a kill on his Omega versus him kind of just almost not, just not getting a kill. But this augment is okay because there's a lot of interrupts late game. He can Omega, gets a kill, he can Omega again, he heals up a little bit as well. Can make the difference, but I wouldn't stack 2 tanky augments unless you really just get unlucky and don't have anything else. So squiz, number 1 priority. Number 2, I would say, or maybe equally. Let's just go through this. Again, this is all pretty bad. I would say, a lot of people pick this one up, but I'd say this is better. I'm going to put that on the Sinalf, which I think that's a visual bug, but yeah, so early Omega on the Sinalf is okay. Yeah, so the other priorities would be at the Goliant items. So Thorns is nice, but 2 tanky augments would be really good. It's a huge difference if the Titanor lives longer for obvious reasons. Even to the point where he's almost unkillable for certain team comps, like unless their carries live and whatnot. The Titanor can make a huge difference. And obviously if the front line dies, then your back line's super exposed. And the other Illuvial you want to prioritize is the Ferriox, or the Scoriox, or the Fiery. That's why this team comp is... One reason why this team comp is so good, other than just synergizing well, is you can utilize tanky augments really well. You can utilize the Omega Power caster augments really well. But you've also got the Ferriox that utilizes attack speed augments really well. Even if you don't get the ideal squiz items, you've still got the attack speed champion, attack speed Illuvial that you can buff up, and also a tank that utilizes the tank that can almost carry as well. I should say at this point, it's actually unusual for me to have 6 Scions. Usually you would only have 4, so we would get rid of the 2 Flishes, and we would have the 2 Empaths. So Ebb and an Archos, or Ebb and maybe the Apom, and the 2 Bulwarks which we have in. So you would be able to corner a little bit better. At the moment we're cornering with 7 Scion, which isn't usually what we do. So really we need a good augment here. At this stage these are all pretty terrible. All of these are not ideal. It's just not what we need to win a game. We really need a squiz, really good squiz item, or a buffed up Ferriox. And we also need to finish some of these Illuvials. But we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully we can still get a top 4. Even if we don't win, we can still highlight that the Gauntlet isn't about getting first place all the time. It's about getting as many top 4s as you can and minimizing bottom 4s. Okay, so both extremely good augments. And I would love to have both of them, but we're going to prioritize the squiz, because this makes a huge 60 Omega Power. It gets that energy boost at the start, and the pen, which makes a huge difference whether or not the squiz finishes off an Illuvial and gets the second Omega. So a bit of a mistake there. We shouldn't have rolled down so much. We ended up getting 9 gold worth of things we need, but we're going to pick up the squiz and leave the Ab. Really need to finish the squiz. If we don't finish the squiz, the squiz just isn't enough to carry. We really need the Octius. Real quick, if you've gotten anything out of this or any of my content, consider using my code WEB3 in your account settings. That'll help me out a lot. And feel free to ask me anything down below as well. Alright, so we're going to get rid of the 2 Flishes. I'm going to put the Apon in over the Archos, but this will be a very close one, I think. Ideally, by now we would have Granite and finish the squiz, which we're very far from getting either. So we need 2 more Scarabox and another squiz. So we ended up finishing the Ebb, the Sinalf, and the Ferriox, which is okay, but we would much prefer to finish the Octius and the Titanor with a Tatapi if we had the choice. But we'll see. You can see how well the squiz is carrying even at stage 1. Be a nice comeback if we can finish top 2. Alright, amazing. Got the squiz. Anything we consider is just moving a little bit out like this. I'm actually gonna put in the Archos. Just want to spread out a little bit, so if he stays here, this Fernite stun hopefully only hits the Octius, which we're not as concerned about because he's got to have a 4-second immune, which gives a good chance of it not mattering. But it shouldn't clip this enough, hopefully. This is one reason why the Eb's really good. He can be a very good decoy. So if he did swap sides, he would have shot over to the Eb. Or bad augments. Reduce shields. I mean, maybe we do that. Maybe not the worst one. There's always a good amount of empaths. Oh, we finished the Melora. Okay, he's got Enchanter, but he doesn't actually have Enchanter. Doesn't have any other Illuvials with Enchanter. So this is way closer. What is his team comp? I thought he's got finished Vanguard. Interesting. That was way closer than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, his Melora did a huge amount of damage. Interesting team comp. I think Vanguard's not bad. The Tatapee, perfect. You do want to, if you're healthy enough and have a, well, just generally healthy enough, pick up these Fireys. Finishing the Scoriox is huge. It often makes the difference. But yeah, finishing the Ferriox to Scoriox was huge. You end up getting Magma, which just makes such a big difference when you're versing other Scions. Because that extra Grit and Resolve often swings in your Scions surviving their Omegas, like in favour of yourself. Again, you can see how valuable this Flood is. All these stuns are going over to the Flood. Again, nothing for the Ferriox, which is a little annoying. Crit amp maybe. I'm just going to go this one, and we can maybe the Flood casting early could make a difference. I don't know why these Scarabucks are so hard to hit. He only has a Titanor, a Goliant. So here we want to... I've only got 10 seconds. This is bad. Just do something like this. We want 2 decoys. So Ferriox, because he doesn't have any items on him at the moment, I put him in the corner. And obviously the Ebb. And the ones we don't want getting hit with anything, put him in the middle. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one to beat. He's got 3 air. He's gone 6 Scion. And he's got a lot of early Omegas. And he's still getting a bit of Omega power here. We cannot hit a Scarabok, which is crazy because there's only 3 taken by opponents. Alright, we need a corner up again here. With both of these on the front line, even if his Gorilla hits here, I think that'll be okay. And it is his Ghost, so I think he'll be positioning for the other opponent. No, he goes in the middle. Yeah, so maybe I could have spread out a little bit more because I think this Fernite is going to be stunning all 3 potentially. Which is not ideal. But we got his Octius down, that's huge. That's what I mean by the Octius usually gets targeted by the other Octius, so having some heals or tankiness on the Octius can make a huge difference. Obviously, again, you prioritize just the Omega power. Hit the Scarabok. Nope. This is insane. So usually by now I wouldn't have rolled down nearly as much as I have. I would easily be level 9. And I'll just have another empath in. And they could be the decoys, then the Scions can stay mid. And ideally, like if I only had an Alfie, for example, it's not something I would continue to roll down for. The Octius you definitely would. If you only had the Flare, you wouldn't roll down for Fiery. It's really the Goliant and the Octius. Once you hit that, then you can prioritize just getting to 9. But this is what he's got, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, so he's level 9. And this, yeah, I'm gonna struggle to get through anything, I think. Unless I can get lucky and take out his carries with my Octius. but I think my front line's just way too weak. I don't have the granite. Even killing his Octius there. Just the damage charts. GG's. So that, I think that's a good game to just show, maybe if you're a little bit on the unlucky side. Wasn't the unluckiest game that you could have, but could definitely be more lucky, and I hope that's pretty clear. Oh wow, we ended up winning. Okay. But yeah, as I was saying, I hope that's pretty clear on what augments you want. The team comp you're most likely going. Going 6 Ion always also works. And I would say, although Empath is maybe a little bit better, sometimes if you've got the... We'll grab the pure damage on the... Oh, there's the Scarabok. Okay, maybe we've got some kind of a chance here now. Because this is a good augment on the Ferox, so we'll just we can swap these out. Yeah, in summary, this is the ideal team comp for me. Obviously, just completing the Archos. Hopefully the augments are clear. Tanky items on the Goliath. Oh, the one thing I didn't mention is the auras. So if you get attack speed aura, resistance aura, or energy regen and energy resistance aura, definitely pick that up as well. So again, pretty much every augment you can utilize on this team, which is good. The auras, the attack speed, attack damage, the mega power, tanky, and obviously these ones are good as well. But in these 1v1 scenarios, yeah, the things that can change the game is 6 Scion. If you feel like you're losing, go 6 Scion, and it might mean your Octius gets the advantage over the other opponent because the extra Omega power. And the Mamu can make a big difference as well, because if I had one here, I could try having Path onto the Goliath, and then he can kick the Goliath away, and that can make a big difference. Be on the outside. I know he is one that's if he's stacked this side, he can be one that's likely to move up and be the furthest. Which I don't mind the Octius being the furthest, just because he does have this immune and heal. But let's see how this plays out. Oh, he's hit the Scoriox. Okay. Yeah, the Magma is going to make a big difference. So all this is giving him extra grit and resolve for these areas where the Magma is. Yeah, so I didn't even kill his Octius. That's where definitely pick up these Ferox. If you're in a healthy position like him, you're definitely going to hit the Scoriox. That would be the ideal situation. But well played by him, and I hope that shows 2 different variations of the Scion Empath build, some of the items you can get, some of the options, and how you get there through your econ. If you appreciated that, make sure to use my creator code Web3 in the account settings. That'll help me out a lot, and feel free to ask me anything down below as well.